Have you ever been sitting in a room full of people? Maybe it's a birthday party, a work meeting, or just a Friday night at a bar, and suddenly the sound just cuts out. Not literally, but emotionally. You're watching the mouths move, you see the forced laughter, you hear the predictable rhythm of small talk about the weather or Netflix shows, and you feel like an undercover agent from another planet. You try to mimic the expressions, you nod when they nod, but inside, your brain is screaming. It's like everyone is playing checkers and you're accidentally looking at the world through a quantum physics lens. You don't mean to be different, you don't mean to be intimidating, but you feel the gap, and you know they feel it too. If you've spent your life being called intense, too much, or overly analytical, this isn't a glitch in your personality. It's the side effect of a high-performance engine running in a world built for lawnmowers. You've been shamed for your weird habits, told to chill out, and asked why you can't just be normal. But what if those habits, the very ones that make people shift uncomfortably in their seats, are the markers of a superior mind? Today, we're not going to apologize. We're going to peel back the skin on the 5 strange habits of highly intelligent women that leave the world feeling intimidated, and why you should never, ever dim your light to make them feel comfortable.
Let's talk about the big one, the one your ex-boyfriend, your mom, and your boss have all used to gaslight you. Overthinking. In the normal world, overthinking is seen as a flaw, a sign of anxiety, or a lack of confidence. But let's call it what it actually is in a high IQ woman. High-fidelity reality simulation. Imagine you're about to have a difficult conversation. A normal person might just think, I hope this goes well. You've already run 45 different versions of that conversation in your head before you even put your shoes on. You've analyzed their likely responses, your counterarguments, the tone of voice they'll use, and the long-term fallout of 3 different outcomes. You aren't worrying, you're mapping. This habit is incredibly intimidating to others because you arrive at the truth while they're still trying to find the map. You notice the glitch. You see the micro-expression of a liar. You notice the pattern in a company's budget that looks like fraud. You detect the shift in a friend's energy that means the friendship is over long before they realize it themselves. People find you intimidating because you see through the social theater. You see the why behind the what, and most people are terrified of the why. They want to live in the comfortable lie. When you walk into a room, your brain is scanning for data points, recognizing patterns, and predicting outcomes. You aren't just living life, you are deconstructing it in real time. The micro-action. The next time someone tells you that you think too much, look them in the eye and realize they're actually saying, I am uncomfortable with how much you see. Your overthinking isn't a cage, it's a lighthouse. It protects you from ships that were meant to sink.
There's a specific kind of silence that only highly intelligent women possess. It's not shyness, it's not social anxiety, it's analytical observation. Think about those moments at a dinner party where the conversation is shallow. Celebrity gossip, complaining about traffic, the same 3 jokes repeated for the 10th year in a row. You find yourself drifting. You stop performing. You stop the active listening head nods and the fake, wow, really noises. You just observe. To an outsider, this silence feels like a weapon. They look at you and they don't see a shy girl, they see a judge. They think, why isn't she talking? Is she thinking I'm stupid? Is she dissecting my life? And the truth is, you probably are. Not out of malice, but because your brain craves high-quality fuel. Small talk feels like eating cardboard when you're hungry for a steak. You want to talk about the collapse of modern structures, the psychology of fear, or why a specific color makes you feel like crying. You don't hate people, you hate noise. This intimidates people because most of the world uses noise to hide. They talk because they are afraid of the silence. When you sit there, comfortable in your quiet, you are holding up a mirror to their emptiness. You don't need to fill the air to feel valid. Your social blackout is a sign that your internal world is so rich, so densely populated with ideas, that the external world often feels like a boring rerun. You aren't awkward, you are a deep-sea diver in a world of people playing in puddles.
If you're a high IQ woman, there's a 90% chance someone has walked into your room or looked at your desk and said, how can you live like this? You might have stacks of books you're reading simultaneously, 3 half-drunk cups of cold coffee, and notes written on the back of receipts scattered everywhere. To a linear thinker, this is a mess. To you, it's a neural map. Modern psychology has finally started to catch up with what you've known all along. High intelligence and creativity thrive in messy environments. Why? Because a high IQ mind doesn't see objects in isolation, it sees connections. That book on your desk is next to a sketch of a new project because your brain found a link between 18th century philosophy and modern software design. You intimidate the organized crowd because your efficiency doesn't rely on external labels. You don't need a color-coded filing cabinet to know where your ideas are. Your brain has its own internal GPS. The intimidating part for others is how you can be so productive amidst what they perceive as failure to maintain order. They spend their energy making things look right. You spend your energy making things be right. You've realized that tidying up is often just a socially acceptable way to procrastinate on the real hard work of thinking. Your chaos is a symptom of a mind that is too busy building worlds to worry about a few crumbs or a pile of clothes. We've all been caught. You're in the car or maybe just pacing your living room and you're talking, not to someone on the phone, but to yourself. You're debating, you're explaining, you're narrating your own logic. If I move the deadline, then the team gets stressed, but the quality stays high. No, that doesn't work. And then you realize your neighbor is watching you through the window. In the old world, talking to yourself was a sign of losing it. In the new world of cognitive science, it's recognized as externalized cognitive processing. When your thoughts move at the speed of light, they can become a blur. By speaking them out loud, you are forcing those thoughts into a bottleneck. You are literally using your voice as a tool to organize the data in your head. This intimidates others because it showcases a terrifying level of self-sufficiency. Most people are desperate for a sounding board. They need a therapist, a coach, or a partner to help them think through a basic problem. But you are your own counsel. You are the architect, the builder, and the critic all in one. When people see you talking to yourself, they aren't seeing crazy. They're seeing a mind that doesn't need external validation to function. They're seeing a woman who is her own best friend and most trusted advisor. And that level of independence, it scares the hell out of people who rely on the crowd to know what to think. Why changing your mind is a power move. This is perhaps the most confusing habit for the average person. Most people believe that strength means sticking to your guns, never backing down, and defending your opinion until your last breath, even if you're wrong. But as a highly intelligent woman, you do the opposite. You change your mind, constantly. If you're in a debate and someone provides a piece of data that proves you're wrong, you don't get defensive, you don't get angry, you get excited. You say, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that. You're right. Thank you for pointing that out." To the average person, this makes you look unstable or weak. But in reality, it's the ultimate sign of intellectual sovereignty. You aren't married to your ego. You're married to the truth. You understand that your mind is a piece of software that needs constant updates. Why would you keep running V1.0 when V2.0 is available? This intimidates people because they can't trap you. They can't use your own words against you because you've already evolved past them. Most people use their intelligence to protect their pride. You use yours to dismantle it. By being willing to be wrong, you become invincible. You are unpredictable because you aren't controlled by the need to appear smart or appear consistent. You are a fluid, evolving force of nature, and that makes people who are stuck in their rigid ways feel incredibly insecure. So, where does this leave you? It leaves you in a position of power that feels like isolation. It leaves you as the intimidating woman who people admire from a distance but are afraid to approach. But here is the secret. The intimidation they feel is not your burden to carry. When people feel intimidated by your habits, by your silence, your mess, your overthinking, or your self-talk, they're experiencing a glitch in their own expectations. They expect women to be soft, predictable, and easily digestible. You are a 5-course meal in a world of fast food snacks. You are a complex symphony in a world of catchy jingles. Your habits are the physical evidence of your genius. They are the sparks flying off the engine because you're driving faster than the speed limit of society. The strange way you live is the only way a mind like yours can survive without suffocating. Stop apologizing for your frequency. If you've spent years trying to quiet your brain, trying to clean your desk to make others happy, or forcing yourself to engage in soul-crushing small talk just to fit in, stop right now. Every time you dim your light to make someone else comfortable, a piece of your brilliance dies. The world doesn't need you to be less. It doesn't need you to be more agreeable or more normal. The world is drowning in normal. We are starving for the different. We are starving for the women who talk to themselves in grocery stores because they're solving the world's problems. We need the women whose rooms are a mess because their heads are a masterpiece. We need the women who stay silent because they're busy listening to the truth. So let them call you weird. Let them call you intimidating. Let them whisper about your strange habits. Because at the end of the day, they aren't looking at a strange woman. They are looking at a mind they aren't equipped to understand. And that's okay. You weren't built for their understanding. You were built for your own evolution. Own the vibe. Let them squint.